Hey everyone, it's Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel. Be sure to like and leave a comment on this video. Today we are going to be discussing a theory that Jon Snow is Daenerys' new and better Daario and Naheris. Could these two men be fated by the same woman to have their hearts broken and be manipulated? Using predominant show evidence and my personal opinion, let's find out. In Season 3, we are introduced to a character named Daario and Naheris, a lieutenant of the Second Sons, a sellsword company. He ends up killing his leaders and chooses Daenerys to be the person or leader he fights for. Throughout Season 3 and Season 4, they develop and eventually have a leader and soldier type relationship. He becomes one of her advisors in terms of how she can use her forces to her advantage, taking meetings together and being dismissed whenever sees fit. Until Season 4, Episode 7, where their relationship goes from subtle romance to a full-on, what can be conceived as friends with benefits relationship. But before that, let's watch this very important conversation.
She does not want me.
You swore me your sword.
My sword is yours till the day I die.
So if I command you to stay in Marine and patrol the streets?
I'll stay in Marine and patrol the streets. Send me to kill your enemies. Any enemy, anywhere. Let me do what I do best.
Very well. Do what you do best. Take off your clothes.
In Season 5, Daenerys and Daario continue their sexual relationship as well as their military one, providing us an interesting insight on how of their thoughts on what is politically going on in Marine. With Daario speaking of his time in the fighting pits and how he was sold into slavery as a child. Daario continues to tell her how she has made enemies and how she can be attacked as soon as her guard is down, so she must show her strength now and always. She is taken aback, saying that her main force is the Unsullied, but Daario tells her that she is the mother of dragons and by using them isn't a bad idea. She explains of her fear of having another child die because of her dragons, and that she can only control them if she keeps them chained up. But Daario tells her that she cannot be the mother of dragons without her dragons. During Season 5, Daenerys proposes to marry Hizdahr, a leader of an ancient family in Marine, which upsets Daario as they continue to discuss this, which is what starts the conversation of her marrying him, but she tells him that she cannot because it would be inadvisable and stupid. For her as a queen to marry a bastard sellsword would not fit her agenda moving forward. He accepts it but continues to give her advice about the wise masters, telling her she must be a butcher if she wants to rule. In Season 6, Episode 6, Daario tells her that she's not made to sit on a chair in a palace, that she is a conqueror, not the queenly lady she believes herself to be. Daenerys leaves the Khalasar and comes back, flying on top of Drogon, and Daario sits and admires her having control of a seemingly uncontrollable beast, which also has to be her unspoken favorite child, Drogon. In Season 6, Episode 10, we see Daenerys and Daario have a very important conversation about the future of their relationship. This conversation allows Daenerys to be free from Daario and to marry, or at least give the chance to marry someone else of her choosing, while having him control her free city of Marine. Enter in Jon Snow at the beginning of Season 7. Melisandre meets Daenerys, where she mentions Jon's accomplishments, which intrigues many of Team Daenerys as well. Because of this meeting, Tyrion sends a raven to Winterfell addressed to Jon Snow, who has been recently named King in the North, telling him that he should come and meet with Daenerys. Jon arrives on Dragonstone in Episode 3, where he meets Daenerys for the first time. They are both hostile towards each other, but that is expected from two sides who don't happen to see eye to eye 100%. Daenerys exerts her power/title over him, but it doesn't work, as he doesn't back down. These two develop a friendly relationship where it becomes less cold towards each other and more soft and gentle. Daenerys extends the first branch by letting him mine dragonglass on Dragonstone. This begins of what can be seen as a relationship similar to her and Daario, where she lets him in slowly at a time. Daenerys and Jon explore the cave of Dragonstone, where they're able to have a one-on-one moment. Jon is able to tell her a little bit of the history of the White Walkers, these creatures that she doesn't believe in. But she starts to believe in them when he tells her that they must fight together to survive, and so she can potentially rule the Seven Kingdoms. They exchange looks of what can be seen as them starting to become closer, giving warm looks at each other with soft eyes and expressions. But Jon tells her that he will not bend the knee to her. The pair exit the cave beside Melisandre and Davos, who are then informed about their advances in Westeros after claiming Casterly Rock, but losing the Iron Fleet. Then they walk the beach. Jon gives insight onto not doing what she wants to do, but what she should do instead, in regards to Cersei. Similar to Daario, when he would have to tell her what she could do and what she actually should do. Same as she did with Daario, who she takes Jon's advice over her main advisors, who used to be Jorah and Barristan until their medical leave and death. Jon and Daenerys have seen Let's remember, she told him that she could not marry a bastard, let alone a bastard sellsword. So right now, Jon in this moment is currently still a bastard. Only Sam and Bran know of Jon's true parentage of being a legitimate heir to the Iron Throne. So the reemergence of Daario, he is easily able to tell Jon, if we are to believe he already fell in love with Daenerys, her ultimate plan, which was to find a husband with hold in Westeros as well as a powerful army. This is where, if political Jon isn't true, and that Jon would most likely be confused and angry. But as we don't know what possibly she said to him before and after their beddings. As Jon's love life up until this point has been very rocky and sort of based on a love that was lie-filled on his part. So for Daenerys' political advancements to come out even after she could have expressed her true feelings for Jon, it would leave a lot of people, including myself, very suspect. As again, at least you can see the similarities between the recast Daario and Jon Snow. Jon Snow, even though at this moment still has bastard status, Jon too has a scene where he's able to admire Daenerys on Drogon's back and seeing her have control of such a large beast. In Season 7, Episode 5, Jon sees Daenerys coming back to Dragonstone after her victory over the Lannister forces in the previous episode. Jon is then able to connect with Drogon by touching him, after which they are able to talk about Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion as her children. They were the only children she'll ever have, she told him. These small and more intimate conversations are what we're going to interpret as them revealing their feelings towards each other. Jon is also able to admire her once again when she has control of Drogon, when she's beyond the wall, when she saves Jon and his men's lives. Jon gives seemingly a long look to her, similar to Daario when she is telling the Khalasar her plans for Westeros. Throughout the rest of the season, they have more meetings about political moves and strategies, just like her and Daario. But instead of her leaving Daario behind, it is Jon that leaves her behind before the mission beyond the wall. Jon and company venture beyond the wall and are saved by Daenerys showing up at the last possible second. But Jon is not completely saved by Daenerys, as he tells her to leave before he can climb on top of Drogon. They then have a scene where Jon finally names Daenerys as queen and he will fight for her. Jon and Daenerys and parts of their company meet with Cersei's company. Jon stands beside her and is part of the conversation, just like Daario was, all those seemingly years ago, letting his opinion and leadership be validated in her eyes, just like Daario. Before long, we have what could be seen as Jon's final step for his now for now, his parallel of Daario. That being, Jon is the one to come to Daenerys, and then the sex scene ensues afterwards. But we do not know what exactly happened between him arriving at the door and them together in the next scene. These two could have very well had a scene like her and Daario, like I showed at the beginning of this video, where they have a conversation about what's next for them before, quote-unquote, getting down to business. This is where we are left, with them on top of each other. Now we can talk about the potentials of this resurfacing in Season 8 if we have time. I can expect that they would not completely throw away Daenerys' city and marine in Season 8, so we must have some mention of the city and how it has changed since Daenerys has left. So we could see a mention of Daario in a letter to Daenerys' team, or him showing himself up as a passage to seeing people, especially Daenerys, would be great. Daario showing up in Season 8 would be very interesting in terms of how the plot shifts in the final moments of this series. Daario and the leaders of Meereen most likely had an agreement long ago about the status moving forward, which obviously led him back to his position of, I guess, finding a new job. As Daenerys is no longer residing in Meereen, he has no real power. So joining a company of sellswords like the Golden Company and having safe passage to Westeros is the best idea for him finding out Daenerys' actions and her becoming queen is seemingly so plausible. Once on Westerosi soil, Daario will likely and could possibly infiltrate the leader and end up being in a position he once held. As not only does he have knowledge of one of the people vying for the Iron Throne, but he knows how she works and operates. Upon the potential meeting, if Daario takes control of the Golden Company and then has them switch sides to Daenerys, a confrontation with her and Jon would be interesting. As we remember, she told him that she could not marry a bastard, let alone a bastard sellsword. Right now, in this current moment, only Sam and Bran know Jon's true parentage of being a legitimate child and heir to the Iron Throne. So this re-emergence with Daario, who is back. As again, at least you can see the similarities between the recast Daario and Jon Snow. Jon Snow even has the title of bastard, just like Daario. But some section of the Game of Thrones populace see beyond that and well and truly believe that she's in love with Jon Snow, even if they now look similar and have a similar background. Being honest, I thought it would be possible that Daenerys well and truly loved Daario until she was cold and direct towards him. He may have been a servant to her cause, but he well and truly cared deeply for her. He said it himself that no one can come after Daenerys Targaryen in terms of women, which I guess is true, so revenge of any way possible for him is the sweetest, when breaking her heart slightly like she did for him. But what do you think? But what do you think? Does Jon follow Daario's pattern of being involved in a political/non-sexual relationship that eventually turns sexual after some time? Will Daenerys disregard Jon when it's best fit, when she has everything she's ever wanted? Her mission to the Iron Throne is complete with gaining Jon's support, but they haven't suggested marriage yet. So does she plan on marrying someone else, or not at all? These questions I want your answers to in the comments so we continue this conversation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to follow me everywhere and with the links down below in the description. Thank you!